Hello there, and welcome to the program. This is Energy and You, a show that brings you weekly developments in Nigeria's energy sector with a focus on NNPC Limited. I'm Egusa Igumbo. Tonight, experts discuss energy security, economic stability, and resilience in developing economies amidst global efforts to combat climate change. How do we strike a balance? Details of these and other stories in a moment. Please join us again. Welcome again to the program. Well, there's now a growing need to balance climate action with economic realities, particularly as it affects developing economies like Nigeria. This was a major talking point at the just concluded Decarbonization and Energy Sustainability Forum held in Abuja. The event highlighted the importance of a fair transition.
Organized by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) with the theme Navigating the Global Energy Transition, Leveraging Decarbonization in Nigeria's Upstream Oil and Gas for Sustainable Value Creation, the event drew participants from both the regulatory and major players in the upstream energy sector. In his remarks, Udi Intia, NNPC's Executive Vice President Upstream, said that as NNPC is ensuring the economic growth of the nation, it is also focused on environmental sustainability. He stated that Nigeria and indeed Africa will attract investment by keying into the decarbonization policy, while commending the NUPRC for organizing the event.
Nigeria is ready for investments across board. I believe this footprint is going to enhance that, is going to enable that investment, and I trust the work that has been done by the NUPRC, and we're going to see how that will play out.
In his welcome address, the Commission's Chief Executive, NUPRC, Engineer Benga Komolafe, acknowledged the growing shift toward low-carbon energy solutions and the implications of dwindling oil and gas investments. On Nigeria's pathway to balancing hydrocarbon wealth with climate responsibility, he reiterated Nigeria's net zero commitment by 2060, while outlining the critical role of the country's vast hydrocarbon resources of 37.5 billion barrels of crude oil and 209.26 trillion cubic feet of natural gas in driving sustainable development.
On the imperative of energy transition, global energy dynamics and geopolitical considerations, the post-Paris Agreement era has witnessed a growing recognition on the urgency to combat climate change. Consequently, many countries and entities have set ambitious carbon neutrality targets, which in turn have resulted in a global shift towards a more sustainable and low-carbon energy landscape.
On his part, Nigeria's OPEC Governor and Chief Executive Officer of First E&P Limited, Adeyemi Bello, said conversations like these will bring about the needed balance to the energy transition narrative. He speaks more on this.
Decarbonization and energy sustainability. So I really want to thank the forum for bringing that balance to how we produce responsibly and transition to a carbon neutral environment. So thank you very much to the Commission.
At the event, March 18th was declared as Upstream Decarbonization Day to commemorate Nigeria's commitment to a cleaner, more resilient energy future.
A little spark, a moment of chaos, a fatal choice. It feels like a blessing. Free fuel, answered prayers, but in every drop lurks disaster. From Jesse to Onitsha, Lagos to Suleja, too many lives lost, too many dreams erased. Fuel is not your salvation. It's a ticking time bomb. One spark, one wrong move, and everyone burns. Your life matters. Stay away from overturned tankers. Run away. Call for help. Save a life. Together, let's stop this tragedy.
So come on, let's go. Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
NNPC Retail Limited has marked another milestone with the successful hosting of the SheFix 2025. It's an event dedicated to recognizing and uplifting women in the automotive, technical, and energy sectors. The event, held in Lagos, reinforced the company's commitment to inclusivity and gender diversity in a traditionally male-dominated field.
Over 300 participants gathered for SheFix 2025, a flagship event to mark the International Women's Day. With the theme, Driving Diversity and Powering Progress, the initiative showcased women's expertise in technical fields through interactive sessions and hands-on demonstrations. The event celebrated female mechanics, recognizing their dedication and outstanding contributions to the industry. Awards were presented to exemplary professionals, reinforcing the significance of women in driving innovation and economic growth.
It's a very good initiative. At least it's not all persons that know that women in a man's world, it's not easy, but we are able to do it, and we have been doing it. And I think I appreciate NNPC for giving us that platform of celebrating us, of making us our voices to be heard. And it's a good one. Thank you, NNPC.
I'm so happy doing this. Mostly getting my award. I'm so happy. This is the first award I'm getting, and I'm getting it from NNPC.
To be honest, I really feel powerful to work in a male-dominated industry. Though there are a couple of challenges, but we'll find our way through it, and then we still represent as women that we are. I want to say thank you for this opportunity, for the award. I wasn't expecting it, but it came, and I'm really excited.
In his speech, the Managing Director of NNPC Retail Limited, Hub Stockman, highlighted the significance of the day.
We intend to continue doing this. We already did quite a few events in the past where we trained quite a few auto mechanics as improve their skills. Now, and we will continue to do that. But we want to put particular attention also to promote and educate more female auto mechanics to become part of this profession. As NNPC Retail, we also have we work together with 6 schools for girl-child education to make sure they got all the chances they need to further their progress, because it starts from schooling. It starts from very young age.
A dynamic panel session of the topic, Unleashing the Potential of Women for a Stronger Nation, brought together industry leaders to discuss strategies for overcoming workplace barriers and fostering leadership among women. The event also featured a vibrant marketplace, exclusive product discounts, and engaging networking opportunities. SheFix 2025 delivered entertainment, mentorship, and empowerment, further solidifying the company's commitment to a more inclusive future in the energy and technical sectors.
One voice, one message is the mantra going forward for an aligned communications strategy of the NNPC brand. This much was stated during the unveiling of the Corporate Communications Policies, Processes and Procedures Manual. At the first quarter Corporate Communications Strategic Conference and Policy Workshop, the Chief Corporate Communications Officer of NNPC Limited, Mr. Femi Shoneye, reiterates that a unified and consistent corporate image through strategic communication across all business units of the energy company is as important as the growth of the business.
The first quarter Corporate Communications Strategic Conference and Workshop brought together corporate communications personnel from across NNPC's business units for an insight into the Corporate Communications Policies, Processes and Procedures Manual, signed and approved by the Group CEO of NNPC Limited, Mr. Mele Kyari. This is part of efforts to provide guidance for all internal and external communications within NNPC Limited in line with global best standards. The Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Mr. Femi Shoneye, who was represented by the Head Relationship and Stakeholders Management, Mrs. Oluwakemi Olumuyiwa, who led the unveiling and presentation of the policy document before the communicators.
1, 2, go.
The 10-point policy document serves as a guide for reputational management framework that sets the stage for NNPC's future brand selling through clear, consistent, successful, and powerful narratives.
It will help eliminate information gaps by providing a standard reference for policies and procedures, ensuring clarity and alignment. This manual is going to ensure the consistent interpretation and application of communication processes, enhancing efficiency and coherence. By implementing the policies and procedures outlined in the manual, the company will strengthen its internal control systems, enhance operational efficiency, and maintain a high standard of corporate communications. The policy framework encompasses all aspects of corporate communications, including the external communications, internal communications, reputation management, stakeholder engagement, and brand management, plus crisis communication, and many more.
Workings of the policy manual is to further harmonize greater coordination and impact with the corporate headquarters and its business units, serving as a procedural guide for corporate communication staff, ensuring uniformity in corporate communications, strategies, and execution. Resource persons described the policy document as apt and well formulated, just as encouragement on sustainability, adherence, and effective execution was spelt out. They made presentations on NNPC's corporate strategy and its implications, as well as building strategy and execution, driving effective corporate communications and policy implementation.
Our efforts in terms of strategy as a company is to grow our portfolio. But we also believe, agree with me, that apart from these core businesses, NNPC is also engaged in other businesses that are non-energy in nature. A typical example, we have an academy. Academy, any person can do academy. Properties, medical, whatever we do as corporate communication, irrespective of the service unit or the business unit that you are representing, we must pay attention to cost. So you have a role to play in terms of profitability.
It's about your brand, it's about your stakeholder engagement, it's about who the rest of the world see you as. That's what public communication is. So effective communication strategy requires execution planning. Otherwise, this entire exercise, and I'm speaking from experience, this entire exercise becomes an exercise in futility.
Part of the strategic conference and workshop were more discussions on the policy, processes, and procedures, as well as feedback and knowledge sharing amongst the business units. Recognizing the place of work-life balance, there was a fitness and health talk timeout.
Take a deep breath, breathe in deeply. 1, 2, 3, breathe out. 4 and 5. Good, fantastic.
With the education on the guiding policy document for effective corporate communication strategy and branding, there are expectations from all the business units going forward.
This is the first phase of a roadshow that we intend to carry out as a policy unit. We intend to visit business leaders in the coming months and engage staff as regards what the corporate policy statement is all about. So my team and I have come up with a timetable. We would start, this is the first phase, we will move from business units. We've identified 5 locations in Benin, Warri, Port Harcourt, Lagos, and Kaduna, where we have most of the population of our NNPC staff, NNPC Limited staff, and we would move to those locations in the coming months. So the communication plan on how to transfer or let staff know about this policy in the pipeline, it's a whole year program.
And we always said our own brand, so we'll strengthen it. This time around, we're going to have brand ambassadors across the company, and then we'll have maybe knowledge sharing within ourselves, telling them, and we'll emphasize by EDBS, we'll have more strength, we'll have power of enforcement, that you don't do anything without corporate communications. Any printing, you don't have to, just bring it to us, let us locate it, and then once it's fine, you can go ahead.
As corporate communications professionals, it is good that this we have a policy now that is, like guide our procedures and all of that, because as highlighted in the workshop earlier, whatever we say, can be used as like a hinge point for media to put us out of context and all of that. So it's important that we have these guidelines.
We in NETCO, we engage a lot of people a lot. We have a lot of third party because we are contractors, and we engage a lot of people outside. So what I've learned from this policy, we truly and really guide us in certain statements we make when engaging third party. We've seen the usefulness of it in terms of application, and when we go back, definitely we're going to share with our management and other people that goes out there.
Yes, very welcoming, and at least it also gave me a close up on activities for other corporate communication department activities from other SBUs, and it was very enlightening for me. So I'm familiar now with what CC does in those departments and how it also reflects on my activity in my department as well.
With the binding document on guidelines for corporate communications and reputational management unveiled, the Corporate Communications Division of NNPC Limited is out to ensure that all teams company-wide are aligned through the mantra, one voice, one message, in executing communication strategies that upholds NNPC Limited's vision and corporate identity.
We are the dynamic global energy company of choice, steering the course of Nigeria's biggest export industry. With years of commitment, delivering greater value and improving lives, NNPC is transformed to better meet your everyday energy need as the largest contributor to the Nigerian economy, generating clean, sustainable energy with integrity, excellence, and creating value for all stakeholders.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow, energy for tomorrow. Come on, let's go.
It's now time for a summary of some trending international energy news for the week. Oil prices climbed on Monday as investors weighed the impact of fresh U.S. sanctions on Iran exports against ceasefire talks that's aimed at ending the Russia-Ukraine war. This could lead to an increase in Russian supplies to global markets. Brent crude futures gained 4 cents to $72.02 a barrel. The pump price of petrol in neighboring Niger Republic has started reducing following the supply of the commodity from Nigeria. Multiple residents in border communities and insider security sources confirmed that hundreds of petrol tankers have started making their way from Nigeria to Niger. Iraq plans to raise oil production capacity to more than 6 million barrels per day by 2029. Oil Ministry Undersecretary Bassem Mohamed Kodir told the state news agency that Iraq aims to achieve its target through oil exploration and nationwide drilling activity. It points to a recent deal with oil major BP to redevelop 4 Kirkuk oil and gas fields. China Petroleum and Chemical Corporation Sinopec has reported a 16.8% decline in 2024 net profit, citing lower crude oil prices and the accelerated development of the new energy vehicle industry. Sinopec's Hong Kong listed shares were down 3.3% on Monday after falling as far as 4.5% earlier in their biggest one-day drop in 5 months. Its Shanghai listed shares were down 1.4%. The Kogi State Electricity Regulatory Commission has officially taken over the regulation of the state's electricity sector. Special advisor to the state governor on media, Ismail Issa, disclosed in a statement that the state has leveraged the amended Electricity Act of 2023 to take full control of its power sector, reducing reliance on the regulatory and distribution framework of the old order in Nigeria.
A little spark, a moment of chaos, a fatal choice. It feels like a blessing. Free fuel, answered prayers, but in every drop lurks disaster. From Jesse to Onitsha, Lagos to Suleja, too many lives lost, too many dreams erased. Fuel is not your salvation. It's a ticking time bomb. One spark, one wrong move, and everyone burns. Your life matters. Stay away from overturned tankers. Run away. Call for help. Save a life. Together, let's stop this tragedy.
So come on, let's go. Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
And that's the show tonight, but before we go, please remember, it's dangerous to scoop fuel from falling tankers. Report such cases to the appropriate authorities for prompt response. Thanks for joining us as always. If you missed any part of the show or previous episodes, you can catch up by scanning the QR code on your screen now. Remember to follow us on all our social media handles to get updates of all the activities of NNPC Limited. I'm Egusa Igumbo. We'll see you again.